The extension for voter registration ends on Saturday. Registrants continue to flock to registration sites, some even setting up camp a day before just to get their slots for their application. The Philippines is still the worst place to be amid the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Bloomberg's latest COVID resilience ranking. The country ranked last among 53 countries for a second time, joining other Southeast Asian countries. This is despite lower daily cases being reported. And in entertainment news, the iconic action figure Buzz Lightyear is getting his own film. The Toy Story spin-off will feature one of Marvel's Avengers as Buzz Lightyear's voice actor. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Eligible voters are camping outside malls to be able to register as the extension of the deadline looms. Justine Punsalang with the story.
These people spent the night outside the mall in Manila to secure a spot for voter registration. Only 2 days remain before the Commission on Elections officially closes the extension. In Robinson's Otis, only 150 people were supposed to be accommodated. But since around 300 people flocked the mall, registrants listed down the names of the first ones in queue to prevent others from cutting in line.
Pagdating namin, meron na nito. Pero dati na talaga gumagawa ng ganito para walang gulo yung pila.
Helen Lar, the first in line, said she camped by the mall as early as 1 p.m. yesterday. She said it took her 5 attempts before finally getting herself registered as a voter.
Nung mga nakaraang buwan, ma'am, simula September, alas 2, alas 3, wala na.
But if Helen is now registered, Alexis Tantay, a gasoline boy, will have to return tomorrow. He arrived past 4 a.m. and was number 271 in line. Tantay hopes the registration will once again be extended and capacity restrictions eased.
Mas maganda siguro kung dadagdagan nila yung 150. Gawin nilang 300.
Meanwhile, in SM Novaliches in Quezon City, people have lined up since 6 p.m. last night. They brought chairs and tarpaulins to sit on as they wait for the registration to start.
Busy din po kasi ako sa schoolwork po kasi. Kasi nung mga nakaraan din po, di rin po kami naabutan ng nung bago po mag-cut-off.
Just like in Manila, registrants also organized the lines to prevent newcomers from cutting in. Minimum health protocols were hardly implemented. COMELEC is reminding registrants to bring their filled-out forms, valid IDs, and their own pen and alcohol. Wearing face masks and face shields are also required. For News 5, Justine Punsalang. We are One News.
Here are other recent developments in Philippine politics. Presidential and Senator Manny Pacquiao says he will not slide down to run for vice president. This is after the senator and Amy Marcos revealed that her brother, Bongbong Marcos, is looking to tap Pacquiao as his running mate. However, Pacquiao still thanked other political parties for considering him as a possible VP. Independent senatorial candidate Raffy Tulfo clarified that he is not supporting any presidential candidate. Tulfo met with Pacquiao in Cebu City earlier today. The senatorial candidate says he is willing to join in the activities of other candidates, including Bongbong Marcos, who he said should be given a chance despite controversies surrounding his family. Meanwhile, presidential candidate Isko Moreno said educational attainment should not be an issue in a person's bid for the presidency. Moreno explained that the Constitution does not require a diploma, but noted that lying about it is a completely different issue. This comes on the heels of controversy over Bongbong Marcos's educational history in Oxford University. And the Philippines remains dead last at Bloomberg's COVID-19 resilience ranking despite an easing of case number. The country scored 40.5, placing last in a list of 53 countries for the second straight month. This is due to a delay in vaccinations, as only 26% of the population has been inoculated so far. Other Southeast Asian nations like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam are also at the bottom of the list. Meanwhile, European nations continue to dominate the rankings, with Ireland and Spain occupying the top 2 spots. Let's talk more about that with National Task Force spokesperson, retired General Restituto Padilla, who joins us now over the phone. Good evening, sir. Sir, first off, what was your initial reaction to our new ranking, which is, of course, still dead last over at Bloomberg?
Hi, Sean. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the invitation. Well, most of these assessments are not very objective at all, and they fail to consider the size of the population and the vaccination rate that we have been doing. If you will compare our population to Ireland or even to Israel, which is only 8 million, over 8 million population, and having been praised as having been ahead of vaccination, and the number of population we have, the rate at which we're going also is something that should be applauded, because we have been increasing our vaccination at a very fast clip compared to the others whose populations are not that big. So if we were Israel, then we could have been fully vaccinated already. Take the case of Malaysia, which has 32.52 million in the 2019 statistics. We could have achieved that because the inoculation rate in our country now has reached over 50 million, with about 30 million almost fully vaccinated.
Right, very good point, sir. But one could also say that Indonesia, with a bigger population and more islands than our 7,100 islands, still rank better than us, albeit, of course, they still are pretty much low on the list. What can we learn from such, such studies or cases like Indonesia?
Well, the cases are, Bloomberg's assessment has been based on a certain period in October, when the cases were still high in the Philippines. But at the rate things are going on now, cases going down, vaccination rate going up, I guess we shouldn't be at the bottom of the list. I guess what they are alluding to is the restriction in mobility and the ease of business. But these are all changing now as we see the cases, because we have to manage the cases in view of our delicate healthcare system. If we don't watch out, we might get overwhelmed and there might be more problems.
Right, understood, sir. Having said all of that, of course, we have definitely taken note of the east restrictions here in the Philippines. What is the government's game plan moving forward? Are we taking notes and, studying other cases of response in other countries, especially those at the top spots, despite them having, of course, smaller populations?
Sean, we are not bereft of any talent. We have been closely watching the global community's response to COVID. We have been learning from the best practices all over the world, and our experts are taking note. And whatever recommendations were made for the response of the country are all based on these observations and the experts' recommendations. So whatever step that we're taking, I can assure you, are all thought of properly.
All right, thank you for your time and insights as usual. NTF spokesperson Restituto Padilla over the phone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sean, and good evening, and keep safe, everyone.
Thank you. We'll be back with more stories after this short break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Philippines could get its hands on the COVID-19 pill, molnupiravir, ahead of its Asian neighbors. However, not all Filipinos will be allowed to buy it just yet. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez with the story.
The Philippines is getting its first shipment of the COVID-19 pill molnupiravir by next month. It's the first ever oral treatment for COVID in the world, developed by pharma company Merck. The importer Medethic says the first batch will cover 300,000 patients.
The shipment that is coming by November, and on the availability or the volume that we had placed from our supplier, that will cover around 300,000 patients.
Clinical trials show that out of 1,200 people with mild COVID who took molnupiravir, 81% had a negative PCR swab test by the 5th day. The brand will be called Molnuflu, and it will come in a bottle of 40 capsules with the recommended 8 capsules per day for 5 days. The importer says they will aim to make it affordable.
Perhaps we'll establish that in early November. Hopefully it will be 100 to 130 pesos per pill.
The importer said Merck or MSD submitted data that showed it was effective against different variants of COVID.
We saw that some of the results that are provided to us by MSD actually show it working with the different variants.
Because of the promising results, the FDA has also granted more hospitals and drug companies special permits to use and import the antiviral drug.
As of end of last week, meron na tayong 31 hospitals na merong compassionate special permit. 5 companies na importers and distributors.
Compassionate special permits mean only hospitals and doctors can dispense it. The Philippines is actually getting its supply ahead of many countries. Asia-Pacific nations like Indonesia, Thailand, and South Korea are scrambling to secure their supplies of molnupiravir. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
Let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Mines and Geosciences Bureau confirms that it is planning to lift the ban on open pit mining. MGB Director Wilfredo Moncano said the Environment Department's Technical Working Group has reviewed the draft administrative order to repeal the ban. Moncano said the mining sector should help in the country's economic recovery. TNT Tropangiga is just one win away from securing the PBA Philippine Cup title after winning against Magnolia in Game 4 of the Best of 7 series. TNT hopes to clinch the title and wrap the series up in Game 5 on Friday. Pixar has released the teaser trailer for its animated film Lightyear. The movie explores the origin story of Buzz from Toy Story. Captain America actor Chris Evans will be voicing the iconic toy Space Ranger. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.